Good evening and welcome to Dumb SEO Questions 143. Each week we meet to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. With us tonight we have David Rozam, 25 years a copywriter, 10 years as an SEO copywriter, or as an SEO I suppose.
As an SEO, yes.
You can contact David at writingforseo.org. Masataki Wasa is CEO of wasaweb.net. That's wasaweb.net. Masataki is also running our Twitter chat tonight. We're going to try and run tweets on Twitter and answer questions. Masataki is a Google top contributor in the AdSense and Google Plus help community. And senior SEO manager for Zendesk is Micah Fisher-Kirshner. Micah is are you moving into Silicon Valley? You're not going to displace Larry, are you?
Yeah. Now, over in San Francisco for work.
Okay. Masataki is based in the UK, as is David, in the boggy marshes of the Middle England.
Middle Earth, I think you'll find. Oh no, it's something else, isn't it?
All right. First question tonight is for Marty Eigner. It's on blocked resources. He said, I'm going through blocked resources on one of my websites, and when I use the Fetch as Google tool, it is saying that the Add This widget is a blocked resource. Is it necessary to fix this, or should I only be concerned with CSS, JavaScript, and images?
Generally, as Edwin noted in the comments, if it's through a third-party service, it's not exactly anything that you can do. Most of the time, the fetch and render, if it's a third party, is there kind of for your information. Google would like to have it so they can understand the full extent of the page, but it's not exactly a problem for this situation. They care about the CSS and JavaScript and images that you own on your site, but in terms of those third-party widgets, it's not a huge deal. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment on this one? No? I see Edwin Yonk also said, unless Add This stops blocking Google, there is nothing that you can do. He said, I do not think it is a problem. Namely, many other services that are loaded by an external JavaScript are blocked too. For example, the AdSense JavaScript. All right, let's go to the next. I only have 11 questions tonight and 16 news items. Thank you, Michelle. It's hit and run. Here's one from Yogesh Dhawan on 100% bounce rate from direct visitors. He said, hi, complicated things are happening. All keywords of a business are on the first page of Google, but at the bottom, 8th, 9th and 10th rank. Google is showing a total of 3,000 average monthly searches of all keywords, but analytics is showing no organic traffic and no phone calls from customers. Why is that? Check an image below. 100% bounce rate for direct visitors. I'm not sure where this direct traffic is coming from and no organic traffic. Any idea? What am I doing wrong? And Yogesh supplies an image which can be seen on the SEO Questions community on Google+.
All right, so without really knowing the searches, this can be a little difficult. It may be the fact that um, you're below the fold and are targeting queries that is being perfectly serviced by other websites that maybe you're kind of relevant for, but for now most people don't see it as interested to click on because they're finding something else. Seems a little unlikely, but that there's always that possibility. So that there's that to consider. There's also the possibility that you might have your tracking system incorrect. So I would potentially double check that. Let me just see if there's any additional things that people have said in the comments here before I jump further. Okay, so there's that. What would be interesting to know on the referral end that you've listed is whether or not that's your own website. So maybe you're missing, implying that you're missing a bit of the tags on specific pages, so you're not gaining data correctly. The direct and otherwise the 100% bounce could also be spam coming in. The numbers are fairly low, so it's hard to say for sure what you're doing wrong there. Are you setting up a tracking event, a goal tracking event specifically so that it's being tracked correctly? There's a lot of possibilities without knowing kind of how the site's being created and what the URL is. That's probably the kind of quick way of be looking at that. I don't know if anybody else has some additional thoughts with this.
Okay. Anybody else? I reckon that one of our forum stalwarts, actually a few of them, referred to it. It is most likely referral spam.
Well, yeah, I mean the numbers are pretty low. I mean, you're only talking about, what was it, 50 sessions, 100 sessions over the last, I guess that's about 30 days. That's a low amount that it could be referral spam for some, but the rest, it's hard to say without kind of seeing the data further.
But if it were referral spam, they would not appear as direct, would they? They would appear as under referrals.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, you could have spam in both the referral and direct.
Sure.
Sure. So, but yeah, if they're referral spam, yeah, they're not going to fall under direct. There's exceptions here and there, but generally you won't see that happen.
Okay. Let's move on to the next from Jay Lee Butilia. And Jay asks, what is UTM? How is it helpful for online marketing?
Well, Tony answered this one pretty much to the fact. It stands for Urchin Tracking Module. That's what the system that was bought by Google originally that became Google Analytics, and it's used for loading tracking parameters. So you can track campaigns like paid search, and more or less tell Google what those the traffic that's coming into your website. And so Google doesn't have to kind of guess what it is. You can basically tell them this is this very specific type of campaign.
Yep. Excellent.
I'm rather worried about this use of UTM, by the way. It says here sacking the copywriter if the newsletter doesn't work, and I'm very much against that.
Would there be a vested interest showing here, David?
No, I'm totally neutral. Totally neutral.
Dear. Of course, if Tony was a copywriter rather than a programmer, he would probably have a different spin as well. All right. By the way, is any of you guys using the panelist report at the moment? Any of you use the panelist report?
Within the website?
Yeah, I can mark setters best if you like.
Oh, yeah.
Could you mark Tony McCreath's answers as the best forum reply, please?
Sure.
Yes,
setters.
done.
All right. Our next is from Madala Akhilesh. What is the purpose of hashtags? Are there any benefits to us now and in the future? Edwin Yong said, for Google it can be used for long content. Namely, Google can add a jump to snippet. These snippets are frequently served for Wikipedia pages. For example, try this, and he gives a URL, www.google.com. Parameter Q equals Republic of Mauritius. And for me, the first result has a snippet, a jump to Republic since 1992, and I suppose it has a hashtag.
Yeah, hashtags can be used for a variety of different things. The example Edwin gives is one such example. They can be used for essentially jumping down to a specific part of the page. They can be used to change kind of different things within a page, like a tab. It doesn't necessarily jump you down, but it kind of helps to define certain parts of the page. You can tweak hashtags to be used as kind of like a parameter, a question mark instead, so it has some functionality similar to a question mark. It can be used to kind of do this. Those are at least a few off the top of my head. I'm trying to think what other examples off the bat that it might be used for. Oh, and then just hashtags. If you're somebody who uses Twitter, those are kind of like informational, like topical focuses that people like to use if you're within kind of the social media end of things. But.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next. Arithmol TP asks, hi, I own a website with the domain extension .com. I would like to create a website with a .ae extension, but with the same name and the same content as it is in the .com extension for targeting the UAE customers. But before creating that, I would like to know, will there be any problem with these domains while promotion as both the domain are in the same name with different extensions and with the same content and design. Expecting the replies soon. Well, I hope this is soon enough, Rithimol. And thanks in advance. All thanks are gratefully received. I would say this is a mistake. By all means, register the .ae, but 301 redirect it to the .com site. It's only going to weaken the .com site if you put up another site with exactly the same content. So, my advice to Arithmol would be to 301 redirect the .ae. It's useful to use because the users in that country will naturally expect to find a .ae, and by doing this way, they can, if they're entering it directly, that they can go to one. Like they can go to the site by entering the other TLD or CC TLD. But it would be a mistake to have the two sites. That's what I'd say anyway. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, kind of basically, yeah, you don't want to have those two separate ones for the same domain. There's no real purpose. Take the .com for now. You can redirect it to the .ae. There's .com is usually known as kind of more the international or the U.S. version of a website. So unless you're targeting for those demographics, it's best to just kind of merge it together to the to focus just primarily on the UAE. Yeah. If it was a situation where you're targeting a different geo, then you're going to need to learn a little bit about the hreflang tag to kind of make sure that Google understands their two sites for different geos with the same content, and so they don't kind of penalize you. It helps to make sure that Google can see it's meant for a different area, and so just kind of show the correct one. But yeah, if you're just targeting the same area, then just redirect one the .com to the .ae and just leave it as one website.
Anybody else? Okay. All right. Let's move on. By the way, feel free to use those best answer buttons as often as you like. Here's a question that I asked, guys. I suppose I can't speak on it. But look, I said, is this a dirty trick, or is this the result of a penalty? When I made this post, I hadn't gone deeply into this site, but the more I looked at it, the more it looks like a penalty. But anyway, in the SEO Questions community on Google+, there is a link to supplemental results on google.co.uk for the brand term Bazoogo. And the brand owner only appears in the supplemental results lower than a hobby site, which has this. It's a good comparison because it's question 6. Arthur, I'll put Arthur is a SEO specialist from Bratislava in Romania.
Hey guys.
Hey Arthur. I'm glad you came along. We're short-handed tonight.
Yeah, me too. It's nice. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, but not always I manage to attend. But today,
Okay. Here's a link to the panelists report. You'll need to log into seoquestions.com first. And we're on question 6. Okay, getting back on track. This one, we're just wondering if this search term for the brand term Bazoogo on google.co.uk and the site which should come up for that doesn't appear anywhere except in the supplemental results. I'm wondering whether you think this might be a dirty trick. I doubt that it is now, given that the quality of the Bazoogo site is so bad. But I'd just like to know your thoughts. It just struck me. It came up as a result of another glitch that Tim Capper posted. Yeah, I wonder what your thoughts were.
I think this is all rather odd because I have, if I do the Bazoogo search here on google.co.uk here in UK, I get Bazoogo search coming up first, but it's https gmaircadets.org. If you click on that, you get a warning that this is a spam stroke phishing site. So I think there are all sorts of strange things going on here, and I'm tempted to say whatever unhand tactics are being used against this site, they may in fact deserve it. But I didn't say that because that's me being rude. Yeah, it's I haven't got a Bazoogo anything here. There are references to it, but a Bazoogo site is not known here.
If you actually go to the end, like go to the bottom numbers and click, I think it shows 14 at first. Click the number and then it'll show you a 17. Or at least that's from memory. The numbers might be different, but click the 17. Then it offers you supplemental results. If you show results where they say which are duplicate to or similar to results in this search, if you click that to see those, then you'll see the Bazoogo site. And that's my question. How do they get, or how are they forced to be there? Is it a penalty, or is Google putting them there? I don't think Google is putting them there. I think that they have a penalty for selling links. They sell preferential listings for £4.95.
Oh, there we go. Images, email, maps, weather.
Okay, sorry about that. It was We'll have to move on from this. Sorry about that. Okay, here's one from Gayatri Muthuswamy on keywords and descriptions for links. Now, I'm not sure what's going on here. You guys might know what Gayatri means. But anyway, Gayatri said, "Hi, I'm doing keyword research for a directory site." He said, "One Lark links." And I Googled it and found that Lark is a number which means 100,000 or a million. But he did respond and say it means 100,000 links are in that site. He said, "May I add keywords," or he or she said, "May I add keywords and descriptions for each link? Please help me." What does that mean, guys? Does he mean add keywords and descriptions for each? He gives an example. I did query, and he gave an example of yellow pages dot ch or something like that. Anyway, yeah, yellow.local.ch, and he said that was a directory which is the same as his site.
Yeah, but it seems that those links are disabled as they use parentheses to put the dots. This is what he means by disable links, because I can't see it otherwise.
Oh no, because when he initially made this post, he put it in as an active link, and I asked him to disable it. That's our posting policy on SEO Questions. We do that. We ask them to use disabled links so that spammers won't find us attractive.
Ah, I see. Okay. So I assume he was trying to use the anchor text as keywords and descriptions for each links. No.
I don't think so, Arthur. I don't think so, because in one of his comments he said this is a directory site which contains 100,000 company links. He said, "I have to know, may I add meta keywords and descriptions for each of these links?" So maybe each of those links has a page, a detail page, where only one link appears on that page, and he's asking, can he add meta keywords and descriptions? In which case, yes, of course he can.
Yes, but that's, I mean, if he put 2 commas over there, it should be 1 million, not 100,000, but I don't know. Well, anyway, yes, and those meta keywords and meta descriptions, meta keywords is not important. I mean, Google is not using it. You can ignore it, from my perspective anyway. But the meta description and the title, the page title tag, they should be added and they should be unique somewhat. I mean, only if those pages do mean something for that website. I mean, just to create 100,000 company pages and using them for nothing, it's not a clever thing to do. So if these pages contain unique and useful content, by all means, do personalize them by adding unique title and unique meta description, and make sure, as a rule of thumb, to use the same words found in the visible text of the page when you compose those meta title and meta description, I mean page title.
Okay. Thank you, Arthur. Micah, you're leaving us. Have have a safe journey to work, mate. On what is the A3? Is it that you're travelling on?
No, Bart is the name of it.
Okay. All right. So, safe journey to work, mate.
Yeah, thanks. Take care, guys.
Okay. See you next week.
Going back to this here question.
Yeah.
I must ask the question: is this not a complete and utter waste of time?
He didn't ask whether it was time effective, but yes, I'd agree. It would be a waste of time.
Yeah. You know, the probably the more fundamental question is, what is he trying to achieve by doing this?
Well, he wants them to rank organically, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't ask them supplemental questions because if we ask them, we won't be able to answer any question whatsoever. We try to use what we get to get the answers.
I'd rather he didn't go off and, I'm assuming it's a he, didn't go off and spend the next 3 months adding a million descriptions to all these pages, or however many months it takes to add a million description tags. Surely there are better things to do with life.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another question from Gayatri Muthuswamy. JavaScript URLs, are they SEO friendly or not? If it's SEO friendly, please tell me the format of a directory site URL structure.
As far as I can see this, there is no right format or wrong format. I mean, Google do understand Java, and they do get better and better every day. So if you use a Java URL structure, I'm sure that Google will be able to parse it if you stay within the boundaries. But to be sure of that, I mean, you just add your website URL to the Webmaster Tools, the X Webmaster Tools, the actual Google console, Google Search Console, and see how Google perceives your website. See if Google can see all your URLs, which of them are not seen crawled by Google, and just try to detect why. Probably this is your problem. I don't know. But for sure I can't tell you the specific site URL structure format to go on by.
Yep, thank you, Arthur. We interrupt this broadcast to advise that Tim Capper has just parachuted in from parts unknown. But he lost his voice on the way. All right, let's move on to the next. Nearly all the work is done, Tim. We've got 11 questions. We're up to question 9. Manu Jeevan Prakash asks, hi all, I want to republish content from one site to another, but I don't want Google to consider one of them as duplicate content. So what should I do? Thanks in advance. So here's a question we can get our teeth into. There's nothing equivocal here. Or is it unequivocal? No. Masataki, you know words. Should I have used the word equivocal?
The thing that they need to do here is they need to use the canonical link to tell Google which is the actual original. And it's as simple as that, really.
Yep.
With
Yeah,
some
absolutely.
yeah.
Or
There
go
are
ahead.
also obviously caveats to that. um, Canonical link isn't like some kind of godlike rule. Google may still get it wrong. You know, it's yeah. But why would you be wanting to republish content from one to another? You know, ideally, if you really wanted to, you know, change it up a bit, change it up, rewrite it slightly for the different audience, etc., and then benefit from two potentials, you know, appearing in search rather than just having one on your own site, republishing it all over the place with having canonical links coming back to you. It doesn't kind of make sense to me, but yes, some people do it.
Yep. Okay. I suppose we didn't mention that he could now index one of them if the other one was a genuinely needed site that didn't require traffic from organic search. That would fix it as well.
Well, yeah, and there is another way. Maybe if he wants to keep both sides indexed, then it could mention the source of the I don't know, the content. If it is articles, I mean, he can put the source over there. Maybe he can skip a few paragraphs from that article. I mean, he can cite that article, and in this way. But even though I'm not referring to the whole content, only to the article part.
Yep. Okay, Manu, Jeevan, Prakash, I hope that that's what you're looking for. If not, please feel free to ask it again. Here's one from El Ray Resultan on the did you mean function in Google search. You know, the one where you spell it incorrectly and Google attempts to find what it thinks you wanted. And his question is there any way to prevent showing of the did you mean algorithm by Google?
Yes, there is, and that is building up the authority of the site. The more people that mentions the kind of spelling that you do, the more whether it be online, in social media, in you know, all over the place. So the more authority you build up, the more people that actually search for that correctly, like that, Google will understand that, well, actually, there is something that, you know, is pronounced or spelt like this, and then that will fade away.
Okay. All right. I think our last question for the evening is from Saif Al Islam. How to start an SEO project? Which things should I do step by step? Please suggest for me. Thanks. I'd direct Safel to. I think we have a list of them on SEOquestions.com. I think you also have one on onlineownership.com. The SEO starter guide from Google. Moz. I can't remember the title of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first thing you want to do with an SEO project is kind of run a complete site audit. Once you've run your site audit, you know where the issues are. Because it's all very well me saying to you, okay, what do you do first? Oh, check your titles. Well, they might all be fine. So it's no point in doing that. Run a complete site audit. And then work through you prioritize the issues based upon the severity of them. So, for example, you might have, incorrect canonical links. Let's say it's an e-commerce site. Well, those are very important. You'd like to sort that out. Run a full site audit. Prioritize which would make which need to be doing based upon Googlebot. What's being seen? Are there any potential issues in terms of like Panda, those kind of things? So you prioritize them straight away into what really needs to be done today, and then kind of long-term focuses. And your long-term focus could be things like once you've completed all the fixes, it could be things like adding schema markup to product pages, or to even if it's just to your contact page with your local business, or that's when you start really fine-tuning and tweaking. Those are add-ons that you really want to do. But in all fairness, you should do an audit and then prioritize, break down what needs to be corrected today, what can be done next week, and what can be, and what are ideals that the site doesn't have that, it would benefit from. But create a full list, prioritize, work your way through.
Yep.
Can I add something?
Of course you can, Arthur.
The most important thing out of all is the content of your website. Just take a step back and take a look at your content overall, not the structure, just the content first, and see, is my content, ask this question, is my content good enough? I mean, me, if I'm not the owner of the website, do I come to this website to read what is written there? Do I duplicate any content for no reason? Do I wrote only essential things and good things to be read, or I put some, I don't know how to say it, just fill in the content to fill up the pages? And the content should come first if you want to stand up or to get out in front of everybody else.
Yep.
I'm done.
Okay. Yep. All right. Next, let me see. Right. Okay. We've done it again, guys. We've covered all of the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. And so now we head into our weekly SEO news roundup. Now I'm asking you to bear with me here because Michelle Deere has kindly given us 16 topics of homework for the week, and then she's bolted. She has in the SEO news community, as a comment to each topic, she has placed her notes, and knowing Michelle, they will be very good and well researched. But Michelle's not here to voice them, so I wonder if you guys could follow along using the SEO News community on Google+, and let's talk about the news of the week.
If I've got a suggestion here, Jim.
Yep.
When you come to Michelle's comments, why don't you just impersonate her? Just do your best impression of Michelle, so we have a good feel of Michelle's input.
Okay. Well, the problem is that our software is set up to scrape the comments from SEO Questions, but not set up to scrape the comments from SEO News. If this happens often, we can change our format to get them. But on the report that I'm using to run SEO Questions, I don't see Michelle's comments unless I open up a copy of the community. And if I do that, the bandwidth available to run the Hangout is so teeter-totter that if I start pulling more data down, it might break. So
thank you for that. It didn't deserve that level of seriousness, but thank you, my friend.
Look, it's only because I'm an idiot. All right. Anyway, site name markup not supported for subdomains. What is this about?
This is confirmation that if you mark up your site names, as in breadcrumbs, things like that, it's not supported in subdomains.
Ah, now I get it. Yep.
So
you see those instead of seeing the URL in the search engine results page, you actually see the breadcrumb instead.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So
thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, not supported in subdomains, which is handy to know, but something I never thought of.
Okay.
Yeah, well, if you use subdomains, because a lot of guys out there, well, we hope Google will start supporting this too eventually.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is thank you, Michelle, number 1 of 16. And here we go again. Oh, no, this is one from Arithmol TP. Thank you, Arithmol. Thank you for your participation. She said she provided an article, Facebook to kill page Lightbox plugin. Okay, so this is sort of something bordering on Black Hat, I suppose. Any comments? I'd like to encourage Arithmol to publish again.
I'm just having a quick look here, but I mean, I've never. What is this Lightbox plugin?
You know, when you go to certain websites, they have Facebook plugin, which shows who liked their Facebook page.
Oh yeah, that pain in the ass frickin' thing. Yeah.
Yes, often comes up with pop-up. Anyway, that's going to go. It's going to be replaced by something else, and quite soon.
Yeah, okay. Those things wind me up. I mean, it's almost as like, you know, they just pop up. It's yeah, pain in the brain. I hate them. I'm glad it's been killed off. Let's hope they be a bit more sensible when they create a new one.
I don't like him either. Nobody likes me.
I don't fucking like him.
Michelle has posted another one. Featured snippets, knowledge cards, and live results. And so she said, so about a month ago, we were talking about the Phantom update before it was renamed. What was it renamed to? And the differences in our nomenclature of update and Google's update. which brought confusion regarding how we each define the same. We also talked about a desire for Google to release some kind of glossary of internal terms they use to clarify so that we can understand their terminology. I don't think we've ever said anything so highfalutin as that, but anyway. Gary Illies has started to communicate these terms, although not in documentation format. I will describe, or you can read the article to get the definition. Well, what's going on here, guys?
Okay, so two definitions here. So you've got a featured snippet, where, for example, when you search "who is God," you get that little featured snippet with the URL below it. So this is their definition, and these are Google answers where it shows an answer sourced from a site as a featured snippet at the top of the search results. Okay. The knowledge card, which you may have probably seen, like for example, if you search "how old is Obama," but you may have seen it if you had searched for a telephone number, for example, like you know, of a well-known company and their telephone number. That's where you probably would have noticed it more prevalently, and those are called knowledge cards. And this is where Google sources the response from a data source that they have. So they do provide, you know, answers, but obviously in two different ways.
Yeah.
And then they've got live results. Which you mainly see in weather results, scores, anything where there's sort of real-time live data. Personally, I haven't particularly searched anything that has shown me those. Oh yes, weather, of course, temperature, yeah. I don't know why I bother searching for temperature, because it's never more than 20 degrees.
This is in the frozen wastelands of the UK, of course.
That's right, mate. The frozen wastelands.
All right, moving on from the weather report. Here's one from Dave Elliott. Actually, I've just realised that we had a question that didn't show up because we loaded a question that Dave Elliott asked in the Google Analytics community that we have. Now that should have shown up in this week's report. We must have something broken there. Okay, this one, I hope somebody here can help Dave with an answer to this. Oh, wait a minute. This will be it. This is not a news item, and it's a Google Analytics question. And somehow there's something gone crazy with our software, and it's just put this question in the wrong place. All right. Dave said, I'm trying to get the following script to fire within the Google Tag Manager using the custom HTML hypertext markup language tag facility in Google Analytics. It is not firing. I know the rule and container are fine, so it's definitely the tag. The tag is an Adobe tracking pixel. Do these two things not play nicely together, or do I need to alter the tag in some way to get it to fire? Here is the tag with some X's everywhere, obviously. And Dave gave us a help, but with multiple exclamation marks and lots of E's to show how serious he was. Unfortunately, it looks like our software is screwed up badly because we don't get the tag. Can you guys have a look in our Google Analytics community and to get that tag? Because I'd like to find an answer for him. And I'll just get you a link to our Google Analytics community. I'll put that in the chat. Sorry for taking so long. Come on, Google. There it is, guys, in the chat. Sorry. Yeah, as I said, I run this really stripped down so that everything continues to work, but just a little thing like opening up that community tips the balance. Are we still frozen? Are you still frozen, Tim? Oh, you mean you're frozen as in cold in the UK? Or frozen as in your screen is frozen? Can somebody speak so I realise that I'm not just by myself?
No, I can hear you very well.
Oh, cool.
So it's not. The problem is I can't keep up with you about this target.
All right. Look, I can't open up the community again, but I put a link in the chat. It's 4 comments up at the moment. If you click on that link, that will take you to our Google Analytics community where questions can be asked. And I think it's the top question from Dave Elliott. It begins, GTM question, I'm trying to get the following script to fire.
So, GTM, okay, I found it. Yep. I'm seeing it, but that can't be answered in I don't know, in a few seconds, because you need to see what's wrong with that script. And I'm sorry, I can't help on this one.
That's okay. Anybody give us an elevator statement for Dave? He does do a lot of work on our SEO Questions community, answering questions for other people. I would like to get a good response for him. I should ring up Alistair Latham or get him out of bed. Dave, I'm sorry, mate. I'll tag Alistair in and hope he can respond to that one. All right. Here's another one from Michelle Deere. The traffic from search a quality indicator, question mark. I'm not exactly certain that John Mueller answered the question as it was intended, but I'm going to report it anyway. And I won't go through everything that Michelle said there, but it's on the screen. Yeah, look, I don't know if it's fair to dissect what John says. word by word, line by line. He gives great answers to people, and I don't think that they should be examined forensically because they're more or less for one person only. You guys, can you see the SEO news community? Michelle's comments on this one?
Well, it seems that
Jim, can you link it in chat as you did with the other one, please?
Look, I'm a bit afraid to because it almost broke the Hangout.
Okay, don't worry. Don't worry then.
Masataki, would you be able to help us there? Oh no, you're using a Chromebook. You're worse off than I am. I'd ask David Roseanne, but everyone knows he uses a Mac. There it is there. The link's in the chat, Arthur.
Yep, thanks.
I'm only joking, David. You know that.
But that was the wrong link. Sorry about that. Wait a minute. Many windows open.
The really big news, if Masataki hasn't told you, is that he's ditched the Chromebook. He's got himself a Linux machine, and he's got all geeky.
Is this true, Masataki?
Yes. That's why I could do a couple of things at the same time. Chromebook will not be able to do that. I think most Chromebooks would just freeze if you try to do anything on top of the Hangout. So.
Yep. Yeah, Google's falling short in so many areas these days. I mean, it didn't used to be this way. I realise you guys are reading up on this one, but with your permission, I'll pass on this one and say to Michelle that our role is not to dissect what John said. I think we're very, very lucky to have John giving answers, and it really isn't helpful to be critical.
Edwin,
how are you, buddy? Actually, just yeah, okay. All right, let's move on to the next. And Tim, what is a 429 error code? Because apparently Google treats a 429 error code and a 503 error code equally. A 503, it says the resource is not available now, come back later. Now it's saying 429. I've never seen a 429. All happy with that, guys? Right, we're on to question 18 on the run list, Edwin.
Yeah, well, we can't comment on John's spoken things, right? Because he knows better. He's in his yard, right?
And Google is indexing URLs with emoji characters. This one is in the URL, not the meta tags. I see Tim Capper gets a mention. He said, but if you click on the link in the article, you'll see those haven't gone away either. And a message from Michelle to Tim Capper, queue up for the clash for next Thursday. What's going on?
I don't know, but I hear they're singing Moscow Calling.
Have you ever thought of doing stand-up, David?
No, I fall over.
All right, let's move on to the next. By the way, feel free to follow along in the SEO news community, where apparently Michelle has placed multiple notes with each topic. All right, Bing delivers clicks against 99% of Yahoo desktop traffic. Michelle said, I thought they broke up. We didn't report that they got back together. In fact, their breakup was a big deal. If you check out the renegotiation of the contract, that they had an early 7-year itch. Now, Yahoo has the right to explore potential relationships with others, and they are no longer an exclusive item. They did make new agreements on responsibilities and who owns what, and it seems to be working now. No more fighting. Okay. All right. But what's in the air with all of these getting back together? Microsoft and Yahoo, Google and Twitter. What's next? Benefer. What the hell's Benefer? Okay. Any comment on this? Moving right along. Google now on tap finds in-app answers. Symbiotic, you know. I mean, Michelle should know better than to ask questions like symbiotic. It's 12:08 a.m. here in Australia. I don't know what symbiotic means at the best of times. Certainly not after midnight.
In biology,
any comments? Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I was going to tell you what symbiotic was to help you. In biology, symbiotic refers to any diverse organisms that live together, much like us, really. But in this case, the relationship is not necessarily beneficial to both. Parasites, for example, have a symbiotic relationship with their hosts, but only the parasite benefits. Thank you. So what was the question?
Okay.
Well, that feature was launched on Google I/O, no? The Google Now indexing apps, basically.
Yeah, so it's taking the information and things directly from the app and showing it on Google Now instead of having to go through an app, for example. So it reduces the, I think, the number of taps you have to do, or the number of times you have to tap something to get to that information or to that content. If I understood correctly, which may not be the case.
Okay, so what are they doing? Are they scraping these images from the sites themselves and then serving them from a CDN? Is that basically what they're doing?
I think we're talking about different things now.
Yeah.
I was referring to the Google Now just now, but Jim, you've moved on to number 21.
Okay. Sorry. All right. Question 22 on our run list, or at least news item 22. Google's amazing location-aware search finds answers about nearby places. Any comments on this? And Microsoft rolls out its FPGA technology. It processes search queries in the hardware rather than the software. Initial performance testing shows a 10 times increase. I was at a Microsoft function not so long ago, and they showed a clip, and it's just amazing what Microsoft is doing now. You know, they are building containers of processing power, literally containers. They arrive on a truck, and they back them into the data center and plug them in, and the entire container, it's devoted to performing one simple function, one simple task. And then they have 50 of these containers to do 50 concurrent tasks. Absolutely amazing. The Empire Strikes Back. Arthur Radeliscu is leaving us. Mate, thank you for your contribution. Much appreciated.
Oh, welcome. See you later, guys. Bye.
See you, Arthur.
See you, Arthur.
See you, bye.
All right, moving on. Speeding being searched by 10 times. That's amazing. And the next one is that Bing goes HTTPS by default. But with the move, that's the good news, and the bad news is that with the move to encrypted search by default, we will continue to pass along a referrer string so that marketers and webmasters will be able to identify traffic as coming from Bing. However, to further protect our users' privacy, we will not include the user's query terms. I suppose I think one of the comments on this was, you know, bye-bye keywords. I'm wondering if this is a bad thing after all. I mean, we're used to Google not passing on keywords, and if you really want them, you'll get them from AdWords. They give them to you if you pay for them. I don't know what Bing is going to do with their paid advertising, but really. Is it such a bad thing that we don't get the keywords? I mean, we have the actual search results to make an informed opinion. Any comments?
Well, when Google launched the default to go HTTPS, they said they couldn't give the search queries anymore. Of course they can. So that's nice of Bing to say we just do this, or we just don't going to give you the keywords anymore. Because of users' privacy, but it's still a little bit hypocritical, because the paid search still gets all the keywords. So if you're really concerned about your users' privacy, maybe Bing or Google shouldn't track users.
Yeah. They don't want that to happen.
No.
Yeah.
But I understand why Bing is doing that. People that search on Bing or on Google want a secure connection. So.
Okay. Getting a bit of feedback from you, Edwin. Do you have another speaker running in the background somewhere?
No. Earplugs.
Okay. Yeah, I see the earplugs, and I'm just wondering if another speaker was going.
Maybe it's David. I hope this works. Yeah. It was you, David.
He's muted you, David. You can open yourself up if you want to speak. Click the button. You don't. You can open it up, can't you?
Okay. Sorry, I thought you'd shut me up because I was talking rubbish or something.
No. We'd never do that. Never do that. All right. Moving on. Here we go. Social signals have no impact on SEO, says. It was somebody shared on LinkedIn. I don't agree. I think that's bullshit. I think social signals do have an impact on SEO, or do have an impact on traffic anyway. Well, no impact on SEO. Does he mean on rankings? Look, I honestly don't know.
I don't see the post. Oh, but this on LinkedIn. Oh, okay.
How about it, David Rosam? Do you think social signals impact on SEO?
I wish you hadn't asked me.
Okay, well, look let's just rewind.
Some of the time I believe so, and some of the time I don't. It's just one of those things that's so difficult to actually isolate as a factor. I think that it's a good idea to do social things alongside your SEO, but whether you have to say that, whether that gives you the right to say they do have an impact or not an impact. Are you talking direct impact, indirect impact? Do we know whether Google or Bing listens to and takes notice of social activity? The fact that Google is now taking an interest in what we're tweeting suggests that they may well have an impact, but I don't know.
I think the problem is the impact is a very vague concept and word to use.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think because there will be a correlation between high social profile, high social engagement, and ranking. But that doesn't mean there is causal relationship between the two. And impact, how do you define impact? What do you mean by impact? Because it's a vague word that can imply the correlation, not just causation. But you can state that there is correlation, therefore there is some sort of impact. Then yes, but I think it's really important to have a clearly defined debate in this matter, because if you start to use vague notions, then you're going to get vague answers, and that's not really going to help people who want to get to the bottom of things.
Personally, I don't think Google is using social signals except for Search Pleasure World or at Bing with Facebook integration. So it's more like an opt-in version. The reason I don't think they use it is because they don't have the data. Facebook, Google does have the data from Facebook. They now have the data from Twitter again, but how long will that last? Will they invest in ranking signals based on Twitter in the hopes that the deal with Twitter continues? I don't think Google would do that because they don't control the data. The data is from Facebook or Twitter, and if they don't control it and they're going to build on it, that's quite a risky plan.
Yeah, and I think there's always the issue of noise. How do you distinguish meaningful metrics, meaningful engagement, and so on and so forth, from all the noise that exists on the platforms? And as Edwin said, Google doesn't have the data, and we don't know how much of activities is actually private, non-public. So I think that the data is incomplete, and B, that whatever data is available is polluted by noise, and C, it's very difficult to make sense of it.
Okay. I see while we've been talking, Masataki Wasa has been very busy. Our new location on Twitter has churned out 34 posts so far. Since we've only dealt with 25 topics, that's something that's a big effort. Let's move on to the next. Social shares and inbound links, and this was about an article from one of my heroes, anyway, AJ Cohn, and AJ Cohn's article was titled. Let me see, it's just coming up.
Jim, it is not AJ Cohn. The author of the article is Steve Rayson. AJ Cohn shared it.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't realize. Okay, so this is an article by Steve Rayson.
Yes, in a long article.
Yeah. Well, if AJ likes it, I like it. Thank you for pulling me up, though, Edwin. I appreciate that. All right, comments on this one? Social shares and inbound links. Number 26 on our run list.
Just to give an elevator statement from AJ Cohn, what this research proves in many ways is that ranking up shares may not lead search success. So social shares don't do correlate, but it does not automatically lead to being higher ranked on search engines.
It sort of ties into what we were discussing in the last news item as well. So yeah, I mean, correlation exists, but that doesn't mean causation. And
yeah,
and those two things can be easily confused at times.
Yep. Okay, let's roll on to the next. This one's interesting. If anyone wants to get their teeth, did anybody have a look at these stats from this slide deck from foundem.co.uk?
I've looked at it, but not. I scanned through them.
Okay. Well, I pushed it out to a few people, and like privately, and you know, one of them said it read like a conspiracy theory, but Jesus, this is pure data, and as someone who's experienced being frozen out by Google, it certainly rang very true to me. It's clear that to me that Google has used its influence to not influence, power over what displays in the search engine results to skew the results to their favour, and it looks like in the European community, at least, they're about to be called to account for it. Not a minute too soon. Maybe about 5 years or 7 years too late for me, but if nobody else has another comment, I'll move on from this. And Google mistakenly labels some sites as harmful. PSA, what does PSA mean?
Public service announcement or advertisement.
Public service announcement. Cool. If you find that your site was accidentally listed as harmful and this hasn't been remedied, please contact Google to get this fixed. Good luck with that plan. So did we get a press release from Google saying that no? I don't think I've seen one anyway.
Well, on that webmaster help forum, Eric Kuhn, a Googler, says that they identified and resolved the issue. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Michelle, thank you for your efforts. Certainly kept us rolling a little bit longer than we normally would. Okay, so now we're at the thank you for watching stage, and I see that we still have eyes watching us, and I thank you for that. Your interest in what we do makes what we do worthwhile. We'll be back at the same time next week to do it all again. In the meantime, I'll put a link in the SEO Questions community on Google+. We'd love to have you join us and have a chat with us. We'll be off the air in the green room. We have a lot of fun. You're more than welcome to join us.